The fire burned down a third of the facility, closing the entire plant for 2 days. But here at the Recliner Factory, it's just another day at the office. There were some differences of opinion. There was not actually a drafting of a resolution, and over $1 million and the existence of the local Conventions and Visitors Bureau is on the line. CEO Richard Hilton didn't waste any time getting things moving with the option of possibly affiliating with another hospital. We actually came here earlier in the morning to avoid those crowds, but there were still people coming in and coming out, exchanging and returning gifts they received the Christmas holiday. If you listen to the 5, you'll notice I've lost my jacket because it is heated in the City Hall of Aberdeen. Here at the Baptist Golden Triangle campus, the victim actually came via personal vehicle. South Lamar isn't taking any chances this flu season and has installed hand sanitizer dispensers into all of their hallways. This fire is fully involved. We got the call at 5:30. No injuries or casualties. No one was in the house when the call happened. The owner was actually out of the house as soon as it happened. Andre, you're looking pretty warm in the studio right now. Well, for roads in Columbus, like behind me, they shouldn't have to worry very much about repair or maintenance. But in rural areas, that could be another story. Minus 93. It tied with Armstrong, Ontario as the second coldest spot in the world.
For exposed water pipes and drafty rooms, the phrase better late than never might not be applicable for fixing these problems.
And in a broader sense, it means there's more shuffling to come with all the chess pieces as it relates to the future of our federal delegation. You say we won't see much snow, but is there a chance we see snow?
Maybe. There's a long way out.
Okay, well, we'll go with that, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your evening.
To the 40s, so we won't be down into the teens anymore, but we will continue that warm up going into the next few days. Details on all of it coming up in just a few minutes.
Ooh, not down in the teens anymore. That's horrible.
Parker King joins us live in the studio with more on their efforts. Parker?
That's right, guys. The program based out of Washington, D.C. is called Fight Crime, Invest in Kids. And the goal is self-explanatory, investing time in these students instead of sending them away.
We know that a child that's suspended or expelled is more likely to come in contact with law enforcement.
For the Mississippi chapter of Fight Crime, Invest in Kids, Director Juan Cloy isn't the only one who sees this. As statistics show, Mississippi suspends or expels more than double the national average of students. And those actions can have a long-term effect on a child's future. A 2013 Johns Hopkins study shows that nearly 49% of students who enter high school with 3 or more suspensions eventually drop out.
What I have noticed is a direct correlation between children who drop out of school and adults and the criminal justice system.
We've seen it for many, many years between kids who drop out of school and crimes they commit even later on in life. So it could be a life-changing event to drop out of school.
Most of the people that we arrest for various crimes, property crime, violent crimes, are the very ones who dropped out of school for whatever reason.
Many police chiefs state school rules are a one-size-fits-all system, and that some students fall victim to suspension for something that may not have been their fault.
So now, instead of getting an education, they're at home, or perhaps in a lot of cases, they're out in the streets.
But that each individual incident be looked at on its own merit and determine at that point if there's something else that can be done with this particular child on this particular issue.
According to Cloy, there are already alternative solutions in place.
You have several programs that are evidence-based, right? You have restorative justice and you have PBIS, and this deals with reconciliation, so to speak, and good behavior. Instead of recognizing bad behavior, we recognize good behavior.
The catch is these programs are approved on a district-to-district basis. Schools switching to these methods can help Fight Crime, Invest in Kids accomplish their goal.
In helping us say to school districts to keep these kids in school as opposed to suspending or expelling them.
But after missing only 2 workdays, crews clocked in this morning and got back to business.
WCBI's Parker King takes a tour of the reopened facility. He joins us live in the studio with more. Parker?
Just to clarify, guys, only the recliner plant has been reopened. But given the extent of the damage and the fact that cleanup only happens for 4 days, the mood in that crew is pretty upbeat. And workers were happy to come back to another day working for American Furniture.
It's not completely business as usual, but American Furniture is back at work doing what they do best.
I think that tells you a lot about their loyalty, that they're here.
The fire burned down a third of the facility, closing the entire plant for 2 days. But here at the Recliner Factory, it's just another day at the office.
Management says this positive work attitude comes from having good relationships with workers.
There's a great relationship out here on the floor. Everyone respects one another, and I think that's a great thing to have.
I love my bosses. I mean, we play jokes on one another all the time, but you know, they are my boss. At the end of the day, you know, if I'm out of line, they tell me.
Just like management, workers are happy to clock back in with their co-workers.
It feels good, you know, seeing my friends and everything back again. Having, first of all, having my job back, you know, feels good.
This kind of environment is what makes American Furniture employees passionate about their job, no matter what kind of disaster hits.
This place is a great place to work. Their supervisors are well respected, and our management is the best around, so we're very thankful for that.
Everybody helps everybody out, you know. I see them every day. It's just a great atmosphere to be at.
The rebuilding process may be a long one, but employees are pressing on as if nothing happened.
Just a bump in the road. We're going to come back. We're going to come back stronger than ever. This is my American family. I enjoy working here. I love coming here every single day.
In Ecru, Parker King, WCBI News.
Management is looking to reopen the other plants in the facility as soon as possible.